What's up, guys? Welcome to the Shacknews Twitch channel. It's Monday, February the 25th. February coming to a close. I want to thank all of our followers, all of our subs for being here today, as we have the newest episode of the wide world of electronic sports with our host, Asif and Blake. Guys, welcome to Monday, and we got a special surprise here for our guests, or for our viewers.
Hello.
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 You're all live.
We are all live. We are here. And it is time, once again, for the wide world of electronic sports.
Episode 2. How about that?
Episode 2. We've made it through one episode. Can we do it again?
I think so. I think we have it in us.
I believe in us. I think much like a lot of these electronic sports champions we're going to be talking about today, we have what it takes.
We have the hunger for thirst to win.
We have the hunger for thirst. That is right. And we also have special guests today. We were somehow able to wrangle some specialness today. But before we get to that, I'm Blake Morse, your electronic sports color commentator, and I am joined by the man with the briefcase himself. Nobody else other than Asif Khan. How you doing, Asif?
Doing great. We had a great weekend of electronic sports to talk about.
Sweet. And then we are also very pleased to have some guests from Wizards of the Coast on as well. You want to say hi?
Yeah. So my name is Bear. I'm the new director of esports for the Magic esports team. I spent the last 8 years at Riot Games focusing on League of Legends and the NALCS. I joined the team a few weeks ago. I'm super excited to kind of work with the team here and kind of usher in MTG Arena as a great esport.
Awesome.
It seems like you got a lot of tailwinds behind you. The game was received really well last year. It has a built-in fan base, but it's also competitive players, a lot of streamers. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. I think there is 40,000 some new people that have started to stream Arena. I dabbled with Magic in the past and I've played a lot of TCGs and a lot of other games. But what really got me into Magic was when Arena launched, and I could kind of get over that hurdle and that complexity and that fear of just looking like a big idiot. So I spent a while kind of digging into the game, and I was like, wow, how did I not fall in love with this game sooner? And then I saw the esports announcement, and then things just kind of clicked from there.
Awesome. Yeah. And I mean, and it means, like, I'm so glad that Arena is finally here, because in a lot of ways, Magic is the granddaddy of all, like, competitive card games in my mind. You wouldn't have your Hearthstones or anything like that if Magic had never existed beforehand. So to finally see it come full circle here and to get its own representation in the electronic sports market is super exciting for me, especially like my first job was working at a store that rented video games and held Magic tournaments every Friday. And so now like those places are still around, but most people sort of have those interactions online that they used to have in like the back rooms of video game rental shops,
like comic book stores.
Yeah.
I have a lot of
one thing.
Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt, but one thing I noticed is that this tournament last weekend was held in Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, so that brings a smile to my face seeing any kind of economic activity there. A lot of esports there's like the from your experience at Riot Games, there's the esports arena in Vegas. What led to you folks deciding Cleveland would be a good spot for this?
Yeah, I think for the Mythic Championships on the tabletop side, we have a lot of experience figuring out what markets are going to be able to attend those events. And I think with the digital nature of esports and the big arenas, something like Magic allows us to kind of reach a different like geographies and locations more so than the esports side of things. And even with Arena, we're not looking to blow up Madison Square Garden or anything. We're going to go where players are, and keep venues. I think in the like small to mid-sized range, which will allow us to kind of hit other markets that I think your larger esports wouldn't be able to without disappointing a lot of fans. So.
Gotcha. And yeah, I think Ohio is home to a lot of different esports competitions. Columbus has its own.
Yep.
They have their own arena down there, so it's not like we don't get these very often. But Northeast Ohio is kind of left out, so it was kind of cool to see this. There's a large Magic community here. Our weather's kind of crappy, so people stay inside a lot, and they play tabletop games and they play regular games a lot. So it was kind of cool to see that. Are you looking? So you're talking like similar size venues and kind of demographics that you'd be looking to cater to?
Yeah. I don't think much kind of convention space, because your Grand Prix and your Mythic Championships for the tabletop side need to support a larger grouping of players. But I think if you look at any of the kind of small to mid-size esports events, then Arena is going to feel pretty at home with those.
I don't want to throw shade at any other developers, but you released this game, or your team released this game around the same time that Valve entered the arena, as it were, with Artifact. What happened that made this game so successful, while maybe a game like Artifact, a lot of people are like, oh, the CCG market is flooded. I think your game disproves that argument. So, like, what do you think? Not focusing on the negative side, but what do you think makes so compelling as a CCG?
I think when you have 25 years of history behind you and a really supportive community and so many different ways to play, if you want to do standard or modern, or if you want to just pick up a new set and draft. There's different ways that allow you to kind of jump in and experience Magic, and we're hoping like Arena is one of those as well. It's additive on top of all the other ways that you're used to playing Magic. So ultimately, that's what I think is most appealing about Magic as a TCG. I've always adored it from afar, the art and the world building and the legacy behind it, and it just didn't seem as approachable as some of the other games I've jumped into. But like I was mentioning before with Arena, I had that space to just make mistakes. I've killed myself a few times in a few matches, so I'm definitely still learning. But it's a good jumping off point if you've played other TCGs.
Yeah, and now this is like your inaugural esports season, right? This is the first time.
Yeah, we had
on the run.
Yeah, we had the first Mythic Championship this past weekend, and honestly, don't think I could have asked for a better series of events. I think a bunch of stuff happened that I think this is going to be an event that people are going to remember for a long time.
Nice.
And sorry, Blake. One thing I noticed is you folks were putting a ton of money behind both the tabletop and arena experiences in the competitions. There's like $10 million in 2019.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
That's insane. That's a lot of money. How are you dividing this up across tabletop and CCG?
I don't have the numbers with me right now, but I know there's 4 Mythic Championships for the tabletop side, and then there's 3 Mythic Championships for the arena side. The World Championship at the end of the year is going to be $1 million. I forget the total for the tabletop ones off the top of my head. I forget if it's 500 or 750, but
that has a lot to do with the turnout you got in Cleveland. When people see that, hey, I can win money doing this thing that I'm already doing every day. It's like huge motivation to practice and to hone their craft.
Yeah, and that was a big part of giving pros and kind of aspiring pros a clear path that they can aspire towards and get excited by. And part of that is prize pool related, just so, as you mentioned, like focusing on your craft and really kind of doubling down on becoming a MPL pro. But outside of that, I think it's just the prestige about being a part of this system and being a part of a game that's been around for so long. So
nice. But this was also kind of a historic weekend for the game as well. It seemed like there was a lot of firsts happening. Kind of exciting stuff overall during the Mythic Championship. This is just the first round of this, right? This is going to be going for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we'll have Mythic Championships and obviously the Mythic Invitational at PAX East and a few other events. We're currently working with some third parties to kind of dig into community-oriented events and things like that. So, but yeah, this is the first big kickoff for the rest of the year, and you'll see plenty of content each month all the way to the World Championship in December.
I have a question about how, because the event in Cleveland was a standalone event that you folks put on with the PAX East Mythic Invitational. How are you folks looking at, because I don't know if you know Shacknews, we created our own electronic sports league last year. But we've been doing a lot of events around, gaming conventions. So how do you folks look at, like, okay, we're going to be at PAX East. Okay, we're not going to be at GDC. We're going to do this event, but not that. Once these standalone events versus gaming community kind of events.
Yeah. I think it's it's really complicated because we're trying to not only serve one audience, we're serving three. There's larger gaming conventions, there's the tabletop side, and there's the arena side. So really, when we're looking at the calendar and the content for the year, it's about spacing it out and creating kind of key moments, or hopefully that key stories can kind of unfold that fans can get excited by. They're not overburdened with content, and they feel like they're going to go crazy if they don't watch it all. There's these key marquee moments with the Mythic Championships that if you're a more casual fan, or if you're invested in 2, 3, 4 esports, at least, hey, this is the event I should turn into. There's going to be some cool stuff happening here. So, and then to the earlier point around like venues and digging into cities, I think that fits in as well. We want to make sure that we're hitting as much of the market as possible for the people that play Magic. So we're hoping not to leave anybody, and we're still kind of digging into finalizing venues and locations and things like that. But yeah, it's definitely a complicated process.
I mean, was it an easier transition going to esports because you guys already had so much experience with tabletop events? Like, what's sort of remained the same for you, and what did you guys have to change up?
Yeah. I think from the esports side, fans who I think haven't experienced paper Magic before will probably expect some amount of spectacle and content and kind of easy to follow storylines. And I think you watch any esports tournament, it's usually a well-run, squeaky clean production for the most part, at least in these days. And for the tabletop side, it's not so much that we had to like leave things behind. I think the biggest difficulties for us were trying to find ways to intertwine the two systems. So you see that with Mythic Championships are both for tabletop and arena. The point systems, the Mythic point systems, interact with both sides of that as well. Qualifiers, there's different ways, either through the tabletop side or the arena side, to qualify for a Mythic Championship. So I think we're in a unique position where we had to kind of take all the experience and then the knowledge we've developed over the past 20 some years running competitive gaming for Magic, and then figuring out, okay, how do we apply this to esports and make sure that we're not leaving either system behind in the dust. So I would say that was probably the biggest challenges we were trying to work out what the new system was going to look like.
Nice. Now I know, like, sometimes there's tournaments where people show up and it's everybody plays with packs that they're handed right before the game to build decks with. Have you guys thought about doing that within arena at all, or finding a way to make that sort of work within arena settings?
Limited for arena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's different ways to support Magic. We're not trying to step on like Mitgo's toes or anything with some of the formats that they support, but I mean, in the short term, I don't think you'll see a lot of kind of a different style of events on Arena, save for the one-off ones that we usually do, like the singleton stuff for Valentine's Day. But the team's pretty strapped, kind of working through new features in their development roadmap, and I think you'll definitely see different ways to play Magic coming to the Arena client.
Awesome, very awesome. So it sounds like you guys have a very clear and decisive roadmap for this year's your inaugural esports season. I'm guessing sky's the limits here when it comes to like season 2 and 3, right? Like this is more of almost a little bit softer, so you can kind of like dip your toes, and then from here, I imagine like you guys are just gonna go bigger, right?
I don't know if we'll go bigger. Ultimately, all about just evaluating what the current ecosystem is like, where we have a lot of work to do to get your traditional esports partners involved with the scene. We want to kind of further professionalize the sport and work with the pros on building up their fan bases and really just supporting storylines throughout the year. I think it's traditionally I think it's pretty hard to follow the Magic scene, and so I think this year was about kind of consolidating that stuff, making the path to pro super clear, and then hopefully providing enough really engaging content, both in the weekly play that we're going to do for the MPL, the Mythic Championships, the World Championships, and obviously the Grand Prix and all the other things that kind of pop up within the Magic community. So I'm not sure if we'll go too much bigger this year, but this year is definitely hey, let's invest a ton into this and let's build the community, and then let's see where this takes us.
I had a question about expansions. We have someone in the chat mentioning that they started right after the Tempest expansion. When you're an esport, or when you're a competitive game, when you introduce something like an expansion, it can also fragment your player base. How much does the team look at esports when they are making an expansion?
To my knowledge, too much. I think we're pretty closely tied to the other teams within WotC, and especially on the Magic team, and everybody kind of knows what each other is working on and can kind of feed into each of those teams and their work processes. But I wouldn't say that the design team's taking any notes from the esports team. It's more just making sure that the game is fun to play, really engaging to watch, and then if there's any cards or any issues that are popping up, that we work with that team pretty closely to make sure that they're resolved. So I think you saw that with the Nexus of Fate stuff a couple weeks ago. We're definitely collaborative in a way, but neither one team kind of dictates towards the other.
That's cool. It's something that we see across esports. A lot of flack because they will push a patch like literally 2 days before a tournament happens or something. So there's things you can do to make it less brutal for the players. But it sounds like you folks are collaborating on that.
Yeah, I think my goal is possible. I definitely, my time over at Riot and working on League, I'm no stranger to that, kind of introducing juggernaut changes before Worlds or or things of that nature. So I'm definitely aware of the pain points, especially on the pro side, of having to either adapt to a new meta or not having a ton of time to prep. And these folks are already kind of knee deep in preparation for events, and further adding to that stress is just is a bad formula.
Yeah, I saw it with I don't think it was the recent Smash tournament, but Genesis pushed the 2.0 patch for Ultimate literally 2 days before the tournament. So the TOs were like, we're not upgrading our switches. So they were still running whatever the predecessor patch was, because everyone was practicing on that patch. So yeah, it definitely is something that it helps keep your player base happy at the very least. Yeah,
and I think there's just so much kind of a wasted time that goes into pushing something like that right before a tournament, because fans and even as kind of league operators, we really care about the integrity of a tournament. And if pros only have a week or 2 weeks on either a new set or patch changes or whatever, it's not going to make for a very compelling tournament. So I think it's in our best interest as well to find a happy balance there. Granted, some things pop up as they always do, and game development is hard, but I think the intention is to, as much as possible, kind of reduce that thrash that pros experience with changes.
Awesome. Nice. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the Mythic Championship tournament that just happened. Autumn Burchett comes in and takes out a ton of pro players in order to win it all this last weekend. And what's interesting about this is Autumn's a full-time streamer. They're not in the pro league, but they came in and beat out a ton of people that are, and it's the first time someone from London is winning. It's also the first time somebody non-binary has taken home a title as well. Correct?
Yeah, correct. And it's
Yeah.
super exciting because I think whenever somebody can kind of come in and win the championship, it shows to a larger community that there's a place for them. And it was super exciting to see folks like Ramilia, who joined the LCS on Team Renegades a few years ago, and then Scarlet winning the StarCraft 2 event. I think, as I mentioned before, this is definitely going to be an event that fans are going to remember for a while because they had a crazy event. It was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, it was it was pretty emotional there at the end as well. Rashad obviously noticeably emotional even in the post game interview as well, but just really exciting to win. And it was a heck of a match against I'm probably gonna mispronounce this, but Yoshihiko Ikawa. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
They went at it. Autumn took home the first round, but then Ikawa took home the next two like it was nothing,
Yeah.
And then in the fourth match, it looked to me that Autumn sort of figured out how Ikawa's deck was working, and there's one key point where Ikawa forced Autumn to discard one of their cards, and later on, it seemed like Ikawa was sort of baiting them to do something, and Autumn made the right call, and it just all sort of stopped. Nothing went Ikawa's way from there, it seemed.
Yeah. I said most of the games were quite close, and then I think I love watching matches like these because you can net deck like a deck and throw it into arena and kind of play around with it, and you don't really respect the amount of skill it takes to pilot some of these decks, and then just that BO5, and then as well as the one with Reed before that was the mirror match was pretty insane because you could just see how these folks were piloting these decks and kind of working around, and like a few minute decisions basically called the match for each of those sets. So it's just really it's really hard to kind of respect the amount of skill that it takes to be that good until you see it on display.
Yeah, and I have to admit, as much as I have tried to be good at playing Magic the Gathering, I've never really had that much personal success with that next level. But watching people that understand not only the strategy but the psychology and like sort of that luck factor, like watching people like that play is really awesome, because Yeah, I just I don't have the strategic mind for that. So yeah.
So
yeah.
we actually have some questions from the chat, and I know Twitch chat can be a scary place sometimes, but these folks are actually asking some decent questions. So Jonas Dash coming at us hard. I just want a straight answer on one thing. Will the modern format be implemented in Arena?
Oh.
No, not at the moment. They're to have that format available.
Okay, well, there's your straight answer,
Fair
Jonas.
enough.
And then the top deck dad says, "Hey Bear, any insight to this? One, will mythic points be used for World Championship qualification? To replacing or making something similar to pro points so you can chain qualifications to premier events?" Because this is apparently a paragraph here. Why won't GPs have mythic points tied to them or anything outside of making the top 8?
I can at least,
yeah.
I can't really speak to the mythic point system and some of those. My counterpart on the tabletop side, Ben Drago, and the folks here worked on that system, before I got here. So
Sure.
I showed up a few weeks after that. So I can't dig into some of those too much.
Sure. And then T Cossack 15 actually asked a kind of decent question. Why is there not better technology going into the Twitch streams or coverage, such as Star City games with like deck lists, sideboards?
Yeah.
A clickable, interactable, I don't know what he's talking about there, interactable button.
Yeah.
There's like, Twitch has given us a lot of different things that you can do to make your streams more interactive and definitely more informative. Are you folks looking at that?
Yeah, 100%. And actually, page, I have a job description up right now for a senior technology producer, and part of that role is also to kind of dig into extensions and tools to make the broadcast more engaging and easier to watch. It's no secret that Magic is a complicated game, so I think anything that we can do to make the broadcast more accessible to fans and give them more tools to kind of figure out what's going on, especially at pro level play when things can happen a little bit faster than your at home games in Arena. My team and I have the intention of kind of leveling up that broadcast experience for Arena.
Sure, and you're coming over from Riot, which has done a great job of explaining what the heck was going on in their game. We got one more question. Hi, when will we learn more about the schedule for the Mythic qualifier weekends on Arena? Folks who qualify for these will be able to defer until a later date if they can't participate in the next event.
Yeah, we're still nailing details around the qualifier weekends. I can't promise an exact time when you'll hear more from it, but I did put out that kind of esports kind of update video last week, and my intention is to have those videos be a constant source of information for the community. So I'd like to get one of those out soon. We just need to some time to kind of wrap up some things on our end. But
that makes a lot of sense, and I think when it's esports, when you have a community like yours, the best thing you can do is be transparent and communicative with them. So it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and my time on the Riot side, that was definitely kind of a mantra I like keeping the community informed on either decisions or what's being worked on, even if it's a non-answer of, hey, it's in the works, or we're still digging into this, or here's our concerns. I'd rather have that information be out in the public so that they can hold us accountable for where the esport is going, because ultimately we're building it for not just the pros and not just for us, but for the community as well. And I do like having them involved. So
nice. We got one last question from the Twitch chat, Bear, and then we're gonna let you go. Will you be at PAX East, Bear?
Yes.
That's what Argentina wants to. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I will be there. I'll probably be walking along the floor. I'm there to go see and attend the Mythic Invitational that the team's been working on here, just to kind of see how everything's working and how we support the show and kind of get my feet wet. So yeah.
Awesome.
If you're at PAX East, feel free to reach out. I'm going to be wearing Magic branded gear. It's kind of hard to miss me, a chubby dude with glasses and tattoos. So you'll find me no problem.
Wait, you just described me.
Okay, well,
Well,
don't
I probably won't have as much Magic gear on if I'm at PAX East at all, so should be okay.
I threw a link in the chat to the competitive Magic page in case you're going to be at PAX East.
Nice. And then just in case
Go
people aren't looking at that link, Bear, where can people find out more information about Magic the Gathering Arena, as well, like online or
like social
on Twitter? Yeah, socials and things like
Yeah, you can check out at Magic Esports on Twitter, or you can go to magic.wizards.com or dailymtg.com for more information.
All right, awesome, Bear. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today. I know that you are a very busy dude getting all of these electronic sports tournaments up and running, so we'll let you get back to it. Thank you again.
And congratulations on this weekend. It was a great kickoff to the tournaments.
Thanks. The team worked really hard on it, so really appreciate the kind words. And just so you know, in my day, they were called cyber athletes. So
you might steal that one.
We used to do cyber athleticism, and we liked it very much.
Well, thanks so much. Really appreciate you taking the opportunity to talk.
No, we appreciate it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. Well, there you go. And by the way, I don't know, Asif, did you have an opportunity to watch any of the Mythic Championship from this weekend?
In preparation for this, I just kind of pulled up some of what was going on in the top 8 just to kind of get an idea of what was going on. There's so much stuff happening every weekend, man. Like,
yeah.
If I honestly, I kind of wish I knew. I would have gone up to Cleveland for this. I don't live that far away.
You gotta just have that schedule for that arena.
It wasn't even like that there could be an esport event happening in Cleveland, because usually it's like Pokemon or Call of Duty, and it's always down in Columbus, and that's like 3.5 hours away from me. Far. But yeah, I was watching some other stuff this weekend, because every weekend it's like a cornucopia of electronic sports competitions.
Yeah. But before we get too far away from Magic the Gathering, I just want to say, Autumn Burkett, they have some great fashion sense. Autumn
that hat?
Yeah, that hat. Oh, but also, did you notice that they were wearing their jacket over their shoulders? They almost reminded me of like an anime super villain or hero, like from like a Yu-Gi-Oh cartoon. And then like in the final round, Autumn puts on that hat, and it's like the coolest hat ever.
I see. It's like it's almost like they were wearing it like a cloak.
Yeah.
See the picture. I'll link it in chat. Yeah, I did
see
that.
I like that. It like reminded me of like Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that. It really added a little like dramatic flair to the whole thing. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah, congratulations to Autumn. To come over to Ohio from London, you really have to care about the scene.
Yeah. And
to go to Cleveland for any reason, you have to be really committed.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Is Krabs a super? Is he the super producer? Is that what?
He's like.
You just let me know what you need, and I'll try to make your dreams happen.
He's like our Baba Booey.
All right.
On this episode, would that be fair, Chris? That you're basically Baba Booey.
That's more than fair.
Do we want to switch to TeamSpeak?
This will work for now since we're set up here.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because I know there'd been some audio clipping, so apologies to the listeners and viewers out there.
Yeah, but it hasn't been so bad that people couldn't figure out what we were saying. It's just been
no. It's just like Discord clipping.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
We're blaming Discord, and they don't.
It wasn't due to our lack of preparation at all.
No,
clearly it had nothing to do
Discord.
with. Yeah, that was Discord's fault, not ours.
Man, I gotta say,
what an interview! That was cool.
Yeah, that was great. I really can't thank Magic the Gathering Arena for letting us do that.
Yeah, shout out to Wizards of the Coast for stopping by. That was very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Now I just want like I really am hoping they come out with like a Dungeons and Dragons sport soon as well. I don't know how they would do that. Maybe a battle royale.
Dungeons and Dragons Battle Royale. Oh God. God help us. So is there still one dungeon master? How does that work?
Hopefully.
Battle Royale of
That would
dungeon
be the
masters.
that would be the most burned out, stressed dungeon master ever.
He has to monitor 100 stories simultaneously.
Just or like all the same story, right? But 100 characters within the same story. And imagine like how long it would take just to figure out how people like combat order or something like that.
Imagine the smell.
Oh God. Oh God. I don't know. You could pump a bunch of Glade plugins like in there with a fan or something.
For those that are unaware about Magic the Gathering Arena, we have a really hot review that was put up towards the end of the year with our official take and opinion on the game. I recommend reading it. I'll post a link here in the chat.
Was that Blake that reviewed it?
No, I believe it was Brittany.
It was Brittany.
Right.
I got it shown here on the stream a bit, but I'm not going to spoil it by scrolling the whole thing. But it's here. The link is in the chat, so check it out if you're completely new to all this. There was a time around last year, around August or so, and I didn't know what a Magic the Gathering was. I mean, I'm still not totally sure what it is, but I played it, and I almost won a round or two. So there's hope for everybody. Anything is possible if you believe in yourself.
I know the folks wouldn't say anything on stream about it, but Artifact got just by this game and Hearthstone.
Yeah.
There's nobody playing Artifact, and it's just kind of cool to see Magic. Like you said, Blake, during the interview, it was the card game for so long, and to see them finally bring it over to computer, and just nail it.
Yeah, it's been great. Because I mean, what do they have to do? They just have to take their game, make the cards digital, and give you a nice looking presentation, a nice UI for it. And they did that, and I think that they knew.
I should have asked if it was coming to Switch. I'm sleeping.
You blew it. You blew your chance. We can ask later.
We'll just email them.
Answer's probably no.
It should.
It should. But
these make a lot of sense on Switch.
Man, but it was a weekend of a lot of firsts, I gotta say. Not only did we have this first this first Londoner and first non-binary champion for a Magic tournament, but another electronic sports tournament had really big had their first ever.
Oh man, the Shanghai Dragons, they won. They won. The Shanghai Dragons won. Did you see it? It was so amazing.
I like to think they won only because we talked about them on the show last week, not winning, and how we wanted them to win.
We talked about it literally today. That I had I'd been rooting for this team for a while just because I wanted to see them win. I felt bad that they hadn't won in their whole existence. These are human beings, and they're trying their best. And the kind of effort it takes to be an esports player, right, or an electronic sportsman or woman. And in the case of athlete, in the case of the Shanghai Dragons, they have one of the few female Overwatch League players, Gajuri. I don't know how to pronounce her name. So they had been through some stuff together, and it was intense seeing the crowd. Oh, everyone started to realize, oh my God, this might actually happen. It suddenly breakthrough started trending on Twitter. I saw this video of everyone in the crowd cheering, so I'm like, oh crap. It's Ozzy. I'm like, it's Friday night. I'm like, I think the Shanghai Dragons might win. And he's like, what? So I link it in the chat. I added a bunch of people on our Slack, and I'm like, I'm going to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
They defeated the Boston Uprising, and man, it was funny. I think it was Sailor of Fortune mentioned in the chatty had been playing even harder against the Dragons. It's kind of like a Cleveland Browns effect. You don't want to be the team that loses to the team that always loses, right?
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
almost play better against the Dragons. So after 42 losses in a row, the Shanghai Dragons now have a win.
Oh my
It's
God.
on. It's on to the
And
next
could
one.
you, if I lost a game 42 times in a row, I would probably smash it with a hammer.
Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
you're not being paid high five figures to be on a team.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's just that's a frustrating experience even for me, just as a regular gamer. Like to be playing on a professional level and to not take home a win in that long must have been just infuriating for them. But at the same time, now this first win, it's like they just ate a sandwich that God made.
Yeah, but you could tell how emotional they were. The coach, the manager was like, "This is for the fans." He was tearing up as he said it.
Yeah,
Great to see. And I'm hopeful that this isn't the last win we see from the Dragons this year. I think they're a different team. They got the monkey off their back. They're not going to have that same swag that they had playing them last season. So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
moment for them. I was watching Overwatch League, and God, it is like this presentation they're showing right now, where it's not first person. That entertaining to watch. I don't know if it's because I'm a Quake fan or something, but I kind of prefer how Quake is shot as an esport as opposed to this. I think they created a spectator camera specifically for Overwatch League. It just seems like a bunch of stuff happening, and I don't. From a presentation standpoint, it's just
You're
not
just
really
the
my
old
favorite.
man yelling at a cloud.
I don't know, man. I don't think I'm alone here because I watched a bunch. I watch esports every weekend. I'm admittedly a Smash fan. Mobob says, "Imagine if they just went on another 45 game losing streak. That would stink."
Oh man, that would no.
But I don't
there's
know.
there's a psychological factor to it. Like now that they've won one game, they know they can win a game, and they're gonna know that they can do it again going into their next match.
Hmm.
So will they win it? I don't know, but they might win the one after that or the one after that. That's not gonna be all lost for them.
It's not. They don't have the stigma anymore. But I guess
Yeah,
my
they're
point is
gonna
that
and it's early. It's early in the season too, so they can really shed that. And it would be a remarkable story to see them take home. I don't. What do they have, a freaking belt? I don't for Overwatch. They should
I think
have
it's
a
a
belt.
cup. It must be
I
like
don't know. All
Like an athletic supporter?
no, like the World Cup.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone was just like watching the last few rounds of this match. Everyone in the audience is chanting, "Let's go Dragons!"
Yeah, it was so
They wanted to
beautiful.
win. Yeah, the crowd went wild when they won too. Like
Crowd
there was
wanted
a
it. You could
standing
tell the
ovation.
announcers wanted it for him too. It was
Yeah.
like we were witnessing history. And like I said, as a Browns fan, like I think back to that game we won last season to break our streak. I don't know how many in a row. We hadn't won in like 2 years or something stupid. Exact amount of days, but we were at Tokyo Game Show. Remember, Blake?
I do.
Cleveland
I remember
Browns.
very well.
They won on Thursday Night Football, so I guess it was Friday of TGS in Japan, and yeah, it was amazing. We celebrated, and so yeah, I felt same joy coming from Shanghai Dragons fans that I felt that day when the Browns broke their streak. So it's that's where esports and regular sports definitely overlap.
Oh man, it was just like when the Raiders were good in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Isn't that
sweet
weak?
time for me.
Yeah.
Bittersweet because we never won the
You
won
got
the Super
hosed.
Bowl, but
You got hosed by Tom Brady. It happens.
yeah.
But yeah, kind
Nah,
of
you got busted up by the Bucks.
too. That definitely happened. That
Oh.
was crazy. That was a whole different meta, Chris, because you had the head
Yeah.
coach of your team go to another team, and you knew everything about your team.
Yeah.
So that was definitely different. I actually heard that a tank from the Boston Uprising had joined Shanghai Dragons in the offseason. So there was a little bit of a meta shift also, where that guy might have known a little bit of what the Boston Uprising was up to. At some point during this match, though, you could just see it like wash over the Uprising with that team, that loses to.
Yeah.
It's like losing to the Browns, like you don't want to be that team. So
I feel like
proud for the Shanghai Dragons. This is an amazing
yeah.
win.
Yeah, congratulations to everybody on the team and to their fans. Enjoy it. You got until next week, right? When is the Dragons' next match?
Let's see. Overwatch.
There's games every week, but I don't know. I don't think it's the same.
The schedule. I'm pulling up the schedule right now.
Yeah, who do they face off next?
Let's see. So it would be Thursday. They're not playing Thursday. They're playing Friday. Chengdu Hunters. And then they're playing Saturday against the Dallas Fuel. So they got 2 games coming up this weekend.
Well, guys, get your Shanghai Dragons shirts. You got until Friday.
Just shout out, real quick. I know we're talking about this team that lost a bunch. Let's talk about a team that's winning a bunch. The New York Excelsior is 4-0 right now in Stage 1. You also got the Vancouver Titans, also undefeated, 3-0.
Nice.
This is a pretty dumb name. The Paris Eternal.
Nice. Now
you got 3 undefeated teams. We like to focus on this defeated team that finally isn't. But there's some really good Rocket League getting played by the New York Excelsior. There's a GIF that Rod Blasseau, the Adrian Wojnarowski of esports, tweeted out of this very angry Houston player after they got wrecked. The Houston Outlaws of them while they're just getting wrecked by the New York Excelsior. That's a team to watch this year. I think they're lines right now. If they can keep that going through all these stages, might win the whole thing this year. It's early.
Yeah, it's super early. It's too early to make a prediction. I'm gonna go with the Excelsiors just because I love Stan Lee. Yeah, that's it.
I think they got some Stan Lee karma behind them this year.
Yeah, it's like Angels in the Outfield or something. Like Stan Lee's ghost is helping some kid bring his payload.
He's on the payload.
Yeah.
We're showing this footage right now, and it's just when they're in this third person, like I prefer the first person view when I'm watching esports.
I don't like you prefer first person perspectives?
Even when I'm watching an esport, yeah, I'd rather have them jump between different players' first person perspective than this fly on the wall way of looking at things.
I mean, I think they want to show how much a team effort matters in a game like this.
Yeah, but I don't think that. I think that I see what you're saying, but it's just to me, it's not that compelling to watch.
I get what it's a little hard to follow the action sometimes, but like usually what you see is like how you're looking at formations, you're looking at who's on the team and stuff, like what heroes people pick, things like that. At least for me, that's what I appreciate. Like, because the way that I got better at Overwatch was by watching people play competitively. It helped me develop a strategy and to pick a main.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I definitely characters you might not have realized were good for you. For sure, you can realize some strategies that way. But I think if you're trying to actually learn a character, it's super hard in this view. You're like, okay, there's a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff happening right now.
I mean, but you'll get the first person view in there a lot. It's where you really see it is towards the end game, when people are like just about done delivering the payload
Sure.
or something like that. Like you'll notice a lot of times, a lot of that area shot is from an angle that's just on the payload.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't
But
know. That's
yeah,
just
you know,
that's just the thing.
and it's a minor quibble, and it definitely does sound like old man yells at cloud, but I'm gonna yell at my clouds, okay? I like
Yell at
Quake.
yell at your clouds.
I posted Slasher's tweet in the chat if you guys want to look at it. It's a clip of this. He's just pounding it's a player from the Houston team just pounding the table in anger.
Yeah.
Quite
This
amusing.
is this is
Yeah,
some
that's.
high end fling though. That's what I love about it. And
Oh no, they're excellent. Everyone, that's what about the Shanghai Dragons is that they're not bad players. They just had like
yeah.
some really bad luck. Meanwhile, you got New York that just is on fire right now. So I'm just saying, after 2 weeks of watching this season, I think the New York Excelsior looks really good.
Nice. Yeah. Just bang the camera. Oh, shit.
He's just look at this. He's so furious. And these aren't even close. Like 2-0, 3-0. Like they're not getting any kind of even at all. And I have some friends on Twitter that are Outlaw fans, and they were just like, "If you're an Excelsior fan, don't even talk to me right now." I'm like, okay.
Wow.
I didn't realize.
I don't know. I don't. Most even football fans, I don't throw that much shade at usually,
Yeah.
even if they're Bronco fans or Kansas City fans.
You'll find that Overwatch League fans are kind of rabid. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, guys,
We could probably move on from this, right?
Yeah, I guess we can move on from the Shanghai Dragon. That's fine. Asif, you had some Smash news that you wanted to talk about, right?
Well, I told you every week we're gonna look at our good buddy Zero over on Tempo Storm, right? Still is maining the same players. So I think he's still Wolf and Corrin. So that's our Zero. Zero is still maining the same people from last week, which is kind of a miracle. But also we had Frostbite go down this weekend, and Frostbite was pretty crazy. So they do this thing. I think it's kind of cool. I'd like to see more do this on Saturday night instead of doing like they did their, I don't know how many people entered. It's probably 64. Like lower rounds, the loser bracket and everything. Afterwards, they did this Japan versus North America battle. Each team had a certain amount of stocks and push people up on stage. Watch. Japan won the throwdown, which was pretty cool to watch.
Japan won at a fighting game, you say?
No, but they won not just in a fighting game, dude. They won in and they won in America. So they weren't. It wasn't like they were at Evo Japan. They were in Detroit of all places. It was pretty cool, man. Like I didn't realize it was kind of funny. The Midwest had a pretty good weekend for esports. We had Smash in Detroit, and we had Magic the Gathering in Cleveland. Called it Frostbite because it was very cold there. But yeah, in the group, it was really fun to watch, man. Like just seeing some characters that I didn't realize were that good. Folks that are playing as Olimar, from Pikmin.
Yeah.
wrecking people. I was really shocked that Olimar of all people was doing well. We also had.
So I'm just curious. Like, do you remember which character took home the title?
Yeah, it was Tweak, and Tweak is playing as Wario. With Wario, Wario and
Wait,
Smash.
you were breaking up there a little bit. Could you repeat who they were playing as?
Wario. And
Wario.
really filthy as Wario. Wario has a motorcycle in the game, and if you don't knock it off of the map, you're going to die. So he is really tough. He took out MK Leo in the final.
Who was Leo playing as?
He's trying to think what the hell there's all these Fire Emblem characters that I don't care about at all. Actually pretty good. I want to say it was Corinne that he was playing as.
But yeah, of course nobody. Yeah, I don't know. Fire Emblem, super popular game. It's not my kind of game. So yeah, I'm not familiar with either. And I think that's how it is for a lot of people that play Smash. Two very different genres. So
it's definitely weird. Yeah, he was playing as Corinne. Also some really good Snake play that occurred. It was really fun to watch. Snake is when
you like watch just a little Snake play,
That's the thing, like Snake is really funny because he has all these different gadgets and bombs and stuff that like he seems gimmicky, but when someone's playing very well as Snake, it's really funny to watch. It's almost like, I can't imagine how frustrating it is. We're seeing some Olimar right now. A few Japanese players are very good with Olimar. I have no idea how to play with this guy, but after watching this tournament, I was like, huh, I guess I gotta give him another look.
Well, it looks like he's got.
There was a Japanese player who was actually good with Pac-Man, and tier list Pac-Man is trash. So
what?
I know. They also say Kirby's worse than Pac-Man, so you understand how I feel about this.
Yeah.
I get it. Like these guys do a lot of analysis of frames and all sorts of stuff that lead them to these conclusions. But what I was surprised by is that I think that the K rule nerf has worked. He's not as powerful as he was at launch. But yeah, Tweak is he's on the move this year. If you were in a Smash esports player, Tweak would be a good one to be watching. He's with TSM right now. But yeah, he did win. He played as Wario mainly. Some make a decent. There's Kirby and Meta. Hit kind of far. Like I said, during the group, I think they're called the Showdown or Throwdown. I can't remember. I did see Pac-Man take the stage a couple times. Dr. Mario in there. But yeah, it really seems like the best players are, and I don't mean competitors, I mean like the actual characters in the game. Wolf, Olimar, of all people, are all kind of elevated.
I'm gonna be diving into Smash. I'm gonna be diving into Smash for basically the first time this week. Because you were making me play Smash, but I'm curious anyway. I don't know. It's just never been my thing. So, but I guess I'm gonna have to prove everybody wrong about Pac-Man now.
There you go. There's T playing as Pac-Man on the stream right now. Like that's the thing, dude. Like when the game came out, I was so into playing as Pac-Man. Like his moveset just feels good. There's an example of what can happen to you. You drop the fire hydrant on someone, they can up A or up B into you, and then they take your fire hydrant and use it against you. That's the problem with Pac-Man. Like his things that he can throw out at you can also hurt himself. Why they knocked him down, but he is really fun to play with, and I have his amiibo, and I've been playing with him since Smash 4. So
yeah,
cool to see him. was cool to see him in competitive play. You know,
Yeah, I like.
till this point we haven't really seen
I
it.
mean, you know my feelings of Pac-Man,
Hmm?
and so yeah, of course I'm gonna be pro Pac-Man in any game. Why
You're
is there
gonna
no
love his Ultimate Smash. It's pretty hilarious.
is there? Why is there no Miss Pac-Man though?
Oh, that'd be a good Echo Fighter. I don't know, man.
Right? Ooh,
There's
it looks like Pac-Man just threw an apple and won that one.
yeah, yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, you know, after months of being panned as not a very good character, for Japan to come on stage with Pac-Man and win, it was a big deal.
I mean, that's his homeland. So.
That was to win the throwdown. So it was kind of like Japan was kind of throwing some shade at America there, at North America, I should say, because there were some Canadian players in that mix. But you can see how excited Japan was about this win. I mean,
yeah,
wait for this.
They
Look at
finally paid us back
Yeah.
for ruining Ghost in the Shell.
Yep. And you know, it was funny. It was funny watching the North American dudes, like when they realized when they realized that they were gonna lose, they're like the guy that came up on stage was like, I'm not gonna win this. They like kind of caught it on the mic. It was pretty funny. I was really impressed with Japan during the throwdown. But yeah, it was, and you know, it was cool to see Pikachu and Pichu also
Right.
in competitive play. You know, I think figuring
People
this
not
stuff out.
do people not play as Pikachu? That surprises me.
Pikachu's definitely one of the upper tiers. So is Pichu. Pichu and Pikachu are a little different in that Pichu hurts itself. Gosh,
Hmm.
it's kind of like I think Kirby can kind of hurt himself when he's charging up his hammer at times. It's kind of like that. There's some changes made in Peach that kind of nerfed them a little bit. Because maybe a month or two ago, Peach was higher up on tier lists. So it's been really fascinating just to watch the meta change. Inklings in the tournament. I think Nintendo is going to make the Inklings good. It's kind of like that Fire Emblem phenomenon, right? Like they're less popular games, Nintendo buffs them to keep them like cool, I guess, or something. It's frustrating for someone who's definitely an old school. Like I've played every iteration of Smash. Reluctantly, I don't know. His moveset just appeals to me, so I play as Kirby. I admit that Kirby's not good. So when I do beat my friends as Kirby, it's even more embarrassing for them because he's literally considered the worst in the game.
Aw, poor Kirby.
No, it's
He
not
was the
right.
only one. He was the only one that lived. I thought.
He's the only one that survived in the world of light, and he's still not given any credit for that. There's actually a funny video from Zero where he makes fun of that. I really think it's Sakurai and Iwata before him have a soft spot in their heart for Kirby. You know, it's one of their first games at HAL Laboratory. And Kirby will always have a special place in Smash, and I love his moveset.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like the guys whose movesets that I like end up being like the worst in the game.
Kirby sucks.
There's the typical sword players, you know, there's Cloud and Ike. There was definitely some Ike representation in the top 16. Some people playing Wolf. Didn't see anyone really doing well with Bowser, which was surprising because I had seen Bowser win a tournament in January. I don't think anyone really knows. I don't think there is a such thing as like the penultimate main in this game, which is really good because that's what ruined Smash 4. Was materially better than everyone else. This is a game where I really feel like there's for each player, you know, so you have to be good at more than one character, I think, which is why you're seeing a lot of these pro smashers that are picking up more than one main. You know, you got, and that's just standpoint. That's a total pain in the butt because you have to get good with two people at least. It's really cool.
I mean, is it really that? I mean, most people in other fighting games are decent with like one or two characters in the game usually.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I don't think it's that different. I think there's
Well,
just so
it's
many
just Smash is
goddamn characters.
it's just Smash is getting better balanced than it was with 4 is all I'm saying.
Which is insane.
Because you're right.
It's insane that it's getting better balanced not than previous ones because of how huge the roster is. You know, like to be able to balance that is, you know, it's tough to balance a roster of like 24 fighting characters in a fighting game.
Yeah, this is 74.
Yeah, that is a monumental task.
Yeah, and like it's not perfectly balanced by any stretch of the imagination. Like there's going to be sword types that are really good. You know, Link has actually turned out to be a pretty damn good character. So there's so I'm probably going to start picking up Link more. I saw that we're writing a guide on Shack about how to beat Ganondorf. Ganondorf is really good in this game. So there's options there. It's a game that what I think's funny is like, you know, you said you're never really in this game. Neither was David Craddock, our long reads editor. Ultimate. And I think that between the World of Light and the unlocking of the characters, there's just a lot of stuff you can do single player. You are playing with your friends, you're kind of ready to go.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a good tournament. Shout out to D1 who was doing commentary down there. He's the man. And nice. You know, shout out to Tweak. The guy's he's making moves. He's I want to say I want to look up who won Genesis. Sorry, just want to make sure I got that right. Genesis was earlier this month. God, February just blew by, right? Who won Genesis?
I give up. Who won?
I'm looking right now. I guess it would be
the Crabs. What about you? Are you a Smash bro?
Not currently. I played a lot of Melee though back after 9/11.
That was around the time it came out, right?
Yeah.
I think Leo won. Yeah.
No.
Second. The guy who placed second last weekend won the tournament earlier in the month. So is going places. He's a young kid. He's going to be in the scene for a while.
Nice.
I think he flips between Ike and Corinne.
Man, a young kid on the esports scene nowadays, what does that mean? They're like 16 or 17? Like, how old are most of these
They're
kids
not even
anyway?
born yet.
Yeah. I think Leo might be 17 or something.
Yeah, but then a lot of them are done by the time they're 20, 21.
Absolutely.
Seems like I don't know if it's just because competition can be exhausting, or if they like I know a lot of people get carpal tunnel and things like that.
I think it's just there's burnout, man. These are really tough games to get good at. You have to play so much, and I think it's a mental burnout that occurs.
Yeah.
In your 20s. But you know, you have guys like D1, an excellent Melee player. He was a professional Melee player. He played Brawl, you know, competitively. And then by the time Smash 4 came out, he was seen, right? He was in his late 20s. So he pivoted to become a caster. And that's what we're seeing from a lot of these folks is that they leave esports as a competitor and then they join it from another standpoint, either become parts of these tournament organizations or you know, D1 is a Nintendo ambassador. He did the Smash tournament at E3. So it's like these guys in the games industry. And then you're also seeing, like, you look at Zero, right? Zero hasn't retired officially. He retired and then he came out of retirement to be in the Smash tournament at E3 last year. But he is basically a streamer now. He is not he didn't go to any of these tournaments because he can make more money streaming attending these tournaments. So for those rare occasions, you do have these guys that end up moving on to be either influencers or seen some other way. But you're right. Like I'd say that you might have 6 or maybe 5 to 8 years as a player.
Yeah,
And then,
that's like if that's pushing it too.
well, I'm talking Melee in that sense because you have players that have been playing Melee for much so that every iteration they come up with some computer program that literally takes all the assets from whatever the latest Smash game is, and then they make it play like Melee. Because kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys know that.
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of fervent fandom in the world of esports.
Not like Melee fans. But yeah, this is the first time that we're seeing a Smash game that comes out that actually appeals to Melee professional players. And guys like Armada and Leffen, they haven't necessarily left. They're entering in Ultimate tournaments instead of Melee. And it's probably because that's where the money is right now. It'll be interesting to see when, I just saw Joey Coular, Evo. He just tweeted out they're going to announce the games tomorrow for Evo 2019.
Gosh. For Evo Vegas? For the Vegas tournament?
That's right.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
So tune in to Shacknews tomorrow for that news.
Yeah, we might have to go this year. I'm feeling.
Gone every year for the last 2.
I've not attended Evo physically.
It's so cool. It's one of my favorites.
I would love to.
Temperature wise, it's like the 8th level of hell that time of year in Vegas, but it's really fun. First day of Evo is really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out to everyone who competed at Frostbite. Great. I'm a big fan. Nice. I'm a fan of Smash. I'm a fan of competitive Smash. But yeah, that's about all I had. There were some other tournaments that went down this weekend, but I think we covered the big 3. Every weekend, there's going to be Dota 2 played, and there's League of Legends played, and there's Fortnite played.
Yeah, Fortnite.
We should mention the Renegade Cup. There was some Rocket League played this weekend.
Rocket League? What are you talking about when we were hanging out and playing Rocket League and kicking butt?
No.
Huge butt.
Well, first of all, you got Collegiate Rocket League kicks off tonight, Eastern. So that's coming up. And then you have the Renegade Cup, which was won by Afterthought. It was a pretty crazy final match.
What went down? I missed this final match, but it looks like
it's a best of 5, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of an ass whooping in the 5th game, but it was a best of 5 that came down to the last game, and Afterthought just kind of went ham in that 5th game. I think they won 5-0 or something.
Man,
it was back and forth. It's great to see Rocket League like that. It's funny. Yeah. When you get into a best of 3, best of 5 kind of scenario, you can have a bad game. You've played in the Rocket League tournament at Doom on Shacknews, and we do a best of 3 format. Bad game, you still come back from it, but you can't have that bad game in that decisive game 5, and that's what happened for Sway Esports this weekend.
Yeah,
look at these guys, their ability to do aerials, and
I both love and hate. I both love and hate watching Pro League, Rocket League, because first of all, the talent and their skill level amazing, but it just reminds me how horrible I actually am at Rocket League and how fortunate I am to win the games that I do win and not have to play these people. Yeah, this is on a whole other level. look at them flying around. They really get the rocket aspect of this game.
Yeah,
And,
it's almost like the ball does not touch the ground.
yeah, they
You know, and that's just
they're playing volleyball.
and that's just not what it looks like when we're
Yeah.
playing.
We play soccer or field hockey or something when we play with a little razzle dazzle rocket jumping here and there, but nowhere near the control or accuracy that these people have. Win or lose, frankly.
Yeah, what was really cool about this game is that so Afterthought was down 0-2 in the final, right? So they had to win 3 in a row, and they went on to do that. So people were talking sweep in game, and they weren't having it. They came back and they did it for Shacknews, you know.
Yeah.
I love that aspect of Rocket League is that you're never really out until you're totally out.
No, we push that a lot, even when we're playing, you know.
Hmm?
Like
yeah.
when we'll be down by like 2 or 3 goals and there'll be like a minute left and we somehow tie it up. There's a real slaughter going on or anything like that. But
Unless we're playing 1v1.
ouch. Ouch.
My bad. Yeah.
I didn't realize babies needed to know how to like walk and speak perfect English the minute that they
I had an error. I had a weird network error. It's just my potato internet.
Because I think my OBS is taking a dump.
That happens.
I've lost my
all the time.
upload to the ingest server completely. And I don't know how to fix it.
So it is crapping out.
Try to relaunch, I'm sending again.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm just gonna keep making noise over here.
Hey, you know, OBS every once in a while you gotta reboot it or something.
So
that
true.
just happens. That's just life. Every single person streaming has to deal with that. But it still seems to be more solid than a few other options out there.
Yeah.
We're back up.
Did someone forget to pay the internet bill? Somebody just asked in the chat.
No, looks like he's got his internet, and yeah, we just had OBS is gonna OBS.
Yeah, the internet is full of magic and wonder, and that's just all there is to it.
I'm also going to use the San Fran ingest because the Atlanta and Miami ones won't let me send above 1 megabit a second.
Jeez.
That's because
Twitch ingest servers are incredibly weird.
They are. I haven't actually heard of Afterthought. Chris, have you heard of them?
I don't know anything about anybody.
I guess they were just sort of an afterthought.
I mind my own business.
A literal.
Squires, thanks for the Twitch nuggets. Thanks for making it drizzle.
I'm trying to think who these guys are, because normally I would.
Yeah.
Normally you would recognize some of their names, but this one was kind of special.
Yeah, it looked like they might be. This might be like more of a pickup tournament. They look like they belong to different teams or something. Because I saw somebody had
tag next to their name.
Yeah. So like it might be because the Peeps. I've definitely never heard of the Peeps. I mean, yeah, and Afterthought. So yeah, it looks like. Although it looks like Peep might actually be a group. I wonder about Afterthought though.
My bad. It was a best of 7 series. Sorry.
Oh snap.
Yeah. So this was pretty gnarly. A shout out to everyone who participated.
RMS Squires, thank you for the bit. Thanks for the bits. Just the
nuggets.
Bits.
They're known as nuggets on our channel.
Nugs?
Nugs.
Like
sweet nugs.
Like dank nugs?
Or nose nuggets. Basically. Whatever kind of nugget you like the best.
Crawny nugs?
Whatever kind of nugs you're looking for, they got it.
All right.
Some Hearthstone in China, or China won some Hearthstone this weekend. The Wild Open.
Wild
Wow.
Open.
We would have to get Ozzy in here to talk about it because I was not paying attention.
Yeah.
You should ping him and force him to do it right now.
Nah, next week maybe. Eking out my 100-bit churches. There you go. He's making it drizzle.
He's
Yeah,
not the Drizzle King though. That would be Slayer Bill, who may not be in here with us. Although we currently have our leaderboard up, is Eggrolio still at the top, followed by Slayer Bill, and now Squires is the power bottom.
Thank you very much to everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that goes directly to us here at Shacknews.
That buys tacos.
It buys us tacos.
Yeah, so that's it for me in the wide world of electronic sports this week.
Lucci wants to know, are you going to talk CSGO?
Are we not going to talk about CSGO?
I mean, we could. Do you want to talk about CSGO, Lucci? We'll talk about CSGO.
I have no idea what happened with CSGO this weekend.
It was IEM, which is pretty big.
What was that?
The Intel Extreme Masters, IEM.
Ah.
Yeah, we got some video here from the Legends stage, the best plays of IEM 2019. Katowice is how you're going to pronounce that? I'm not sure.
Yeah. And you had NIP Gaming took home the victory. Lucci, what do you want me to talk about?
Lucci, you're here every day. You know that we're not good at our jobs. I don't know what you would expect on the end of February for things to get better.
It's like, I expect the highest quality coverage.
Why don't you tell us what happened, Lucci?
Yeah.
Maybe that would be more informed.
We're just single dads doing the best we can, and you're in here slagging us in chat.
Okay. Well,
I told you who won. What else do you want from me? I don't even know where Katowice is. Is that a place?
It could just be a state of mind.
Is that where is this? What country is that? That was also where it's in Poland. Okay. Night tournament occurred. Oh, it's my talk show now.
So, did CS:GO and Poland go up against each other, or CS:GO and Fortnite rather?
Yeah, the country of Poland fought CS:GO and lost.
Terrorist win.
I'm pretty sure that Epic could afford to buy Poland right now. Right?
I don't think so.
I feel like there's other countries they should consider buying first.
Let's see. Poland. Let's just look at the GDP of Poland. Could not buy Poland. Poland has a GDP of almost $500 billion, and Fortnite.
Yeah, Blake, stop your crazy talk.
This is crazy. Fortnite only made like 15 billion last year.
I guess I thought too little of Poland.
Could Epic buy Madagascar?
I'm sorry, Poland.
Let's see, could Epic buy? Maybe this is a new segment on our show. Yes, Epic could buy Madagascar.
So that's what I would buy if I was Epic. What about Tahiti? Could they buy that? There's a lot of islands there.
Let's see.
That's prime real estate.
Yeah, easily.
There you go. Every minute that Tim Sweetie is not on the phone with his Century 21 broker about Tahiti is a waste of time. Or whoever sells Tahiti, I don't know how that works.
You could rename them the Sweeney Islands.
The Sweeney Islands.
Sweeney Islands. To Sweeney. Call it to Sweeney.
To Sweeney.
Search for New Caledonia, Maldives, and Seychelles. Yeah, he could even buy the Maldives if he wanted to.
That's what I would do if I was just going to be buying land. Well, these islands might not be there in 200 years, though, with the way we're going. Like, maybe you need to buy something a little further up sea level.
I think you buy an island, you demolish all that native stuff, and then you build one of those Jetson buildings on there.
Yeah, but the basement of the Jetson building would be flooded in 200 years.
I don't know. You do some sort of pumping system that you turn
I've seen
that
enough Roland Emmerich movies. I know
power.
exactly what's going to happen.
Well, the Jetsons built their houses above all the pollution.
Yeah.
That's why we flew around.
What if the whole time the Jetsons were just living above the poor people and they never showed it because people in the 50s couldn't handle it?
Oh, yeah, there's definitely more locks in the Jetsons, for sure.
You know,
absolutely.
They should. I wish they made a show about those people, the lower people in the Jetsons universe.
I feel like they've made 100 dystopian movies about the people that could possibly be the people living below the Jetson line, as I have deemed it.
Hmm.
That's it, the Jetson line. That's our new term for rich and
Mobab
poor.
says that Sweeney should buy a state and then turn it into an esports state.
There we go. What if Epic just buys an island and starts doing real life Fortnite Battle Royale?
Real life Running Man.
Be kind of cool.
Like they take it to its penultimate level.
Well, you can't because no one in real life can build that way.
So, yeah, CS:GO on the 21st was the most viewed. They had 400,000 concurrents at one point.
Man,
Pretty
CS:GO still just consistent. With like that fan base is strong, solid, and dedicated.
I would argue that CS Source is one of the greatest multiplayer shooters of all time.
Yeah. But everybody's playing CS:GO.
Yeah, but it's basically just fancier looking Source.
I mean, that's cool.
It's a good game. You know, there's like crappy games that are popular, and then there's good games that are popular. This is a good game. Now, I'm not going to speak to the community or anything, but is it Tim Sweeney should buy now?
Yeah, we have exclusive 4K footage of Sweeney Island.
Sweeney Island.
Yeah.
To Sweeney. We're going to call it To Sweeney. Yes, Tim Sweeney
Oh,
had a big weekend.
They got eels on Sweeney Island? Is that what I'm
Well,
seeing?
in the water surrounding Sweeney Island, there's lots of stuff going on.
There's octopuses. I want to move to Sweeney Island. I don't even care if I have to kill 99 people.
It looks like they have street gangs of sharks here, though, like West Side Story, but with sharks.
But not street sharks?
Well, that would be a scary thing to see.
As long as there's not street sharks. They look like nurse sharks or something. Those aren't like scary, dangerous sharks. Those are huggable sharks.
I would not like a shark.
I wouldn't touch these manta rays though.
Isn't that what killed? Isn't that what killed Tim? Well, not Tim Sweeney. Was the crocodile hunter?
Yeah.
Tim Sweeney was killed by manta rays.
Not Tim Sweeney. Tim Sweeney was at the Mobile World Conference this weekend. Did you guys see that?
You did.
I was there.
You told me about it.
I was there. Not really. I was on the internet watching it happen. The HoloLens event.
I was in Japan trying to find out what happened to my childhood friend and why the other mobsters kidnapped her to cover a murder up.
AKA Yakuza Kiwami. Steve Irwin. There you go.
And look, there are crabs on this island.
Hey.
Those are hermit.
Yeah. Let's all move. Let's all move to the Sweeney Island.
Hey, can we go to Sweeney Island?
Yeah. Can we go here? This looks great.
Do we
want to go here?
Do we want to load up a tab with Hipmunk and see what the flights are to Sweeney Island? We'll competitively shop.
Guys, I think that's it for the news this week. That's what's going on in electronic sports. I think it's time we transition over to the
This Bora Bora? Like, where is this?
It's none of your business.
It's Hawaii, isn't it?
This is Sweeney
Isn't
Island.
Hawaii.
This is not Hawaii.
Steve Irwin was the crocodile hunter who got
correct.
stabbed by manta ray. I think it just goes to show, no matter how much you love nature and you are an advocate for nature, you probably shouldn't wrestle animals to show how much you love nature.
You just said you were going to wrestle or hug a shark.
Yeah,
but not to show how much I love nature, just to show how much I love that shark.
What if Irwin owed that manta ray money? Like, you don't know the whole story.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. I think it was just like, he's like, I'm going to say something to this guy. And everyone's like, Larry, no, come on. He's like the crocodile, and it's what he does. He's like, no, I've had it with this crap. And then, it just got out of hand from there, I don't think that, it was inadvertent, and it was like a 1 in a million accident too for this, like.
That's what a manta ray apologist would say.
I guess so. Maybe I am one. I don't really know.
What's your angle here?
I don't know. You mess with a creature like that. I mean, you know what the risks are. And I mean that guy wrestled crocodiles. So he knew what he was getting into.
I think that was this weekend. We pretty much wrapped it up. If you guys want to play some Rocket League.
Oh yeah. Let's do this. Enough about the crocodile hunter.
Enough about Tim
And-
Sweeney and his billions of dollars that he's going to spend on stuff.
On Sweeney Island.
All right, let's get this set up here.
I am in the game.
Island.
I am EA Sportsing it up.
All right. I am grabbing my rockets.